What's good, guys? It's Joseph and I'm back with another tutorial. It's going to be a motion track tutorial and I'm going to be basically remaking the preview that you guys saw in the beginning of the video. So let's get right into it. I'm going to make sure it's going to be a quick tutorial today because all I'm going to do is show you how to do a quick motion track. And yeah, so I have my my composition ready and everything. I have my clip in here and that's all you really need to do this. I'm not going to put any songs on it or anything. So I'm just going to drag the clip in it and pick a part in the clip where you want to track it to, and I'm just going to work with that part of the clip. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag this and then until I want to have that same spot, and I'm just going to do this pretty quick. So let's just say right here, and then I'll have it end like somewhere right here. I'll only make it like a couple seconds so it'll be a lot faster for you guys to see. So this is what I'm going to have, and I'm going to have the text like floating around. So the first thing you want to do after you cut your clip is right click on the picture and click track camera, and this will take a couple seconds. What it's doing is just like it's gonna put these little colorful markers all around the scene, and from there you're going to click which ones you want to use for the track. And depending on how long the footage is, it may take a while, so I'll go ahead and come back when this is done. Okay, so I'm back and here are the little colorful points. If you scrub around here, you can see that they're all over. And so what you want to do with these is go ahead and find which one, like say I want to have the text just like floating right here. I'm just going to do a really quick job. You guys should take your time with this, obviously. So press the control button on your keyboard or command on if you're using a Mac, and just click one point. Say I want to use this one, and then click one over here, and then maybe one down here, and then click a fourth one so you have a nice little square, and then right click it and then create a solid in camera, and then just click away. And then this solid is what we're going to be using, but I'm only going to be using it as a reference so I can make my text, and you'll see that what I mean in a little bit. So click the text button up here and we're going to make a new text, and I'm just going to go ahead and type in tutorial, and then it doesn't matter what font you use. I'm just going to use the random one that comes with it. And so now we got this text. You can go ahead and hide that text and then make a new solid by pressing layer, new solid. And so now go ahead and name that element, and I'm using element v2, but you can basically use element v1 if that's all you have, but I would recommend upgrading the element v2. So drag that onto the solid, and now it should be working. Okay, so you can go ahead and hide the solid. We're only going to be using the position, so just go ahead and highlight the solid and press P, and we're going to be using those values as soon as we go into our element. Once you're on your element layer, go ahead and go to custom layers, custom text and masks, and then go to the first one, none, change the tutorial. And then if you want to, you can change the custom texture maps. This first layer, you can make it to your clip if you want. If you don't want to like bother with compositing it and making it fit inside the scene. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then so now we have that. Go to scene setup and then click extrude, and now you can see your text. You can go around, and that's that. If you go into your presets, I have pro shaders, but you can go into physical. If you have V2, V1, you use these materials. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag like a white one on there just cause, and press OK. And so now your text should be in the scene. You got sometimes you have to find it. All right, here it is. So you can see the text is right there. That's not where we want it to be. We want it to be on top of this solid that we have. So go ahead and go to element, go open up group 1, go to particle replicator, and you see your positions. Copy this position, the X position, Control C, paste it in there, this X position, Control V, and then do the same thing with the other positions, and then position Z goes right here. And so now you've done that, go ahead and hide the solid again. We're not going to be using it anymore. So now we have our thing on top with the solid, but we're gonna be making it float in the air. So change the Y value so it goes up. And then if you want to change your X value, move it to the side, you can. Go ahead and close up particle replicator and go to particle look. You can make it bigger, maybe 15, change it to 15 or 10. You can leave it, doesn't matter. And then just play with these, make it look pretty cool. And now you have that. Now it's tracked, and if that's where you want to leave it, go ahead. You have a motion track. You can use this, and if you want to fine tune it, go ahead and render it. Not render, I'm gonna make a RAM preview, and so you'll be able to scrub through it easier. And so like, if you keep going forward and you find, so mine doesn't go forward, but if you find that the camera is going through a letter, all you really want to do is just change the position X or Y. So move it so the camera goes through these two letters or through the U, as you saw in my preview. And so just fine tuning those. And so now you have your track, but we're gonna play around with it a little bit more, make it look a lot nicer. And then yeah, so now close these up, close up group 1, go to render settings, and go ahead and open up ambient occlusion, and then turn this on. Make sure this is SSAO. Okay, so change the intensity to maybe 7. You can play around with these as much as you want. SSAO sample 64. I always put it at 64, and then I always leave this at 0. But you can change it if you want. And then you can put the radius up a little bit. This at 64 if you want. And then you can change around with the gamma, play around with the gamma to get something that you like, because it just really depends. And then if you want, you can go to the quality and change these. I never really do that, just have fun with it, make it your own. You can go to lighting also, and then change this. Depending on the scene, 360, it gives light on each side, but it doesn't really match the scene. So I usually pick natural because sometimes it looks good, but most of the time I just leave this at none, and put a CC on it and it all looks great. But if you want to get more technical with that, there that is. And now go to group 1 again, and we're gonna do that little thing where the letters on the text, they go from being nothing into growing into the text, and you'll see what I mean. So go ahead and go to the beginning of the timeline, and mine's kind of lagging here. Let's just say we're at the beginning. Okay, so go into particle look, and then go into multi-object right here, enable multi-object. So now we have all of these settings we can change. We can go ahead and close this up. Okay, so I play around with all of these all the time, so I advise you guys to do that too. And so like, say for example, this is rotation random. If you can read it more if you make this a little bit bigger. Rotation random multi-object. And so if you make it bigger, the letters, you can see how they're kind of moving. And so if you want to make it and animate it, put this back to 0, and then click the stopwatch at the beginning, and then go to the end. Maybe if you want it to like never stop moving, I'm just gonna like put a keyframe here and pretend this is the end, and you can move it as much as you want. And so now you can see throughout they are moving while they're tracked into the air, which is pretty cool if that's the kind of effect you were looking for. And it also gives more of an appearance of the ambient occlusion you have on the letters. And so that's just the rotation. You can also displace them and then have them come in like this, which wouldn't really look good because there's like this big bush right here and a train. So that's why I use the not the scatter. The scatter is pretty cool. It makes them like go in different directions, X, Y, and Z. The size random is what I used. And so I turned the size random up a little bit just so it gives a little bit more of an organic feel. And then the size, put it down go to the beginning, and then click the stopwatch, and then go to the end, pretend this is my end, and then put it back to 1. And so now they are coming in, and you can see them, they're right here, they're getting smaller, they're getting bigger, and then they're moving. And then if you press U on your keyboard, you can see those keyframes, and sometimes it kind of just stops abruptly and it doesn't look that nice, so you can go ahead and highlight the 2 keyframes and then easy ease them, and yes, go ahead and go into the graph editor and just give this a nice little smooth, just smooths out into there. You can leave that here, move it up, depends on the music, what kind of feel you're trying to get. And so that's the gist of motion tracking in After Effects with 3D Motion Tracker. The 3D Motion Tracker is alright. It doesn't really work that well if you're trying to track onto a wall or onto a floor. That's why I kind of had it floating in the air, because it kind of works a little bit better in After Effects, because sometimes it kind of shakes a little bit, because it's not the best tracker you can use, but it's what a lot of you have, because a lot of you don't have like other programs like Buju and things like that. So if this tutorial helped you at all, leave a like and a comment, and that's basically it. Go ahead and check out my Sellfy stores. There's going to be a link in the description for that, and to the project file, so you can follow along in this video. Alright, so I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'm out. Peace.